The delusion, the trap, and the escape. This is Halle Bailey, a Grammy-nominated singer, one half of the duo Chloe x Halle, and a literal Disney princess who inspired a generation of little girls. And this is the story of how the fairy tale turned into a legal case file, complete with allegations of abuse, leaked texts, and a fight for her life and her child. This isn't a Hollywood scandal. It's a psychological deep dive into how a brilliant woman can end up in a nightmare and how she is fighting to wake up. Hi, I'm Michelle, and welcome to the chaos that is my mind. This is my opinion, all right? I'm just connecting dots that you can find publicly. I'm not a professional. I just like to see patterns. So let's get into it. Part 1, the main cast. So first, let's meet our main players. Halle Bailey. She is a prodigy. She and her sister Chloe were discovered by Beyonce herself, signed to her label, and praised for their otherworldly talent. She then landed the role of a lifetime as Ariel in The Little Mermaid, and then we go on to her boyfriend. We have DDG, and his full name, all right? I'm sorry, I gotta read this because there's no way I can memorize it. His full name is Darrell Dwayne Granberry Jr. So you can understand why we just call this man DDG, because ain't no way, all right? He started as a popular YouTuber and transitioned into becoming a rapper. Now, he's known for his hustle, and I do see a lot. I think he live streams. I don't know what else, but he's a rapper, he's a YouTuber, I think he's a streamer, and that's all I know about him, okay? Now, to understand these two and why they collided the way they did, we have to take a look at the invisible forces at play. They are psychological blueprints. But of course, this video is going to focus on Halle. Now, if you want me to do one on DDG, comment down below because I found some interesting stuff on that man. Where? Anyways, Halle's blueprint was born obviously in childhood.
How does it make you feel? Love is just a beautiful thing.
Hi, I'm Chloe.
And I'm happy.
I'm 13 years old,
And I'm 11.
and we'll be singing Best Thing I Never Had by Beyonce.
She was a gifted kid. She grew up in Atlanta, in America, and her father started drilling into her at a very young age. I think she was about 8, and he started teaching her how to do songwriting. And so when you see a child getting pushed into entertainment at such an early age, it can warp more than just their childhood. It can rewrite what you know as normal. So you grow up fast, you learn to perform instead of feel, and you learn that love, attention, validation come at the cost of your innocence. And you forget you are a kid first. So the message from her upbringing was slightly skewed, and not in a good way, because when you grow up like this, the message you receive is your value is your output. So love and attention are rewards for your performance. That's what she learned from this early childhood in being famous. So it gets even worse. So her father, Doug Bailey, was also allegedly accused of domestic violence towards Halle's mother. In 2007, Doug Bailey was accused of domestic violence battery, simple battery, and cruelty to minors, allegedly involving an assault on Courtney, the mother, and requiring him to complete a 9-month domestic violence program. So these same sources claim the case was dismissed after the program was completed. Now, I personally did my research and I did not find this case, but I have seen very many people post about it and say that this is what is happening. These are all alleged. I did not find any court filings or anything in the case. So we are going to assume that this happened, but only with a huge grain of salt, all right? So yeah, I don't have proof for this. Anyways, despite the alleged incident, the sisters Chloe and Halle have publicly celebrated their father on social media. They've done Father's Day tributes, they've done Thanksgiving tributes, they've been thanking him for raising them and also managing their early careers. But psychologically, an event like this in a family, proven or not, creates a fault line, okay? It teaches a child that danger can live in the very place that is supposed to be the safest. It wires the brain for hypervigilance and creates a desperate need to control the public narrative at all costs, okay? Just keep that in mind. This childhood kind of taught her to protect the family's image and perform normalcy, not live it. And it taught her to perform normalcy no matter what. So you have this young woman, incredibly powerful on stage, but potentially programmed for profound vulnerability in her private life. She was primed to prioritize appearance over her own safety. So we got that, all right. Let's head into part 2, the delusion and ignoring the Red Sea. Because when I tell you DDG had warnings, the man came with a literal sea of red flags. So when DGG comes along, the dynamic is psychologically perfect for a disaster. So he represents control and an escape from her high-pressure Disney life. And when fans immediately started screaming, "He's a clout chaser! He ain't on your level!" He's messy and insecure, girl. Okay, so this is Editing Michelle. Sorry, new to YouTube. It's a work in progress, but I found this podcast on DGG and I just thought it was so interesting for you guys to hear how his dad kind of raised him and the kind of example his dad set, because of course we've talked about blueprints, so this is one of those things. So please just hear how his dad reacted, or the situation that his dad and his mom were in when DGG's mom told his dad that she was pregnant. Just listen to this.
Be born, how did you feel? When you found out my mama was pregnant?
Oh, I'll be honest with you. When your mama said she was pregnant, me and her was beefing.
For real?
Yeah, she was, oh man, I gave up. I was like, it's over with. I'm out of here. I'm not, no, dude, we ain't even going, all right, I'm done arguing. See, I don't like to argue or fight. I'm not, if I gotta argue or fight with you, I don't need you. You know what I mean?
Now, I thought that that was just so very interesting, because later on when we check out DDG's court filings, we are going to see some very interesting stuff. So just keep this in mind as we go on with the video.
He was like, shh. That's why I told you, we ain't know nothing about that post-mortem stuff and all of that. I don't know nothing about it. Man, she tore my car up. The mirror that hang in the middle, she jumped in the car. We tussling, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? She got out the car. She was like, I'm pregnant. I said, what?
So as you can see, DDG grew up seeing his parents fighting and tussling the same exact way that allegedly Halle grew up seeing her mom and dad get into fighting situations, because like I said in the beginning of the video, there was that DV incident. So do you see where these things don't come out of nowhere? Like, people don't just wake up one day and decide to start beating their partner. They have seen these things as they grow up, and because they saw it as they were growing up, it has been normalized to them. So, I'm just gonna give, anyone advice. Please, before you get into the dating scene, or before you get into it seriously, and if you're trying to, date for marriage and have kids, please go back and really sit with yourself and check your childhood. Understand exactly what happened when you were being raised, because there are some things that you might have seen that you might not even know have been engraved into you. She didn't hear shit. She just ignored the red flags and she defended them. Why is she defending them? Because to admit her fans were right would be to admit the narrative is flawed. It would shatter the perfect image she was trying to perform. This is a psychological phenomenon known as cognitive dissonance. Her brain can't hold the idea she is a brilliant woman, but can also make a really terrible choice. So instead of her brain deciding to protect herself, her brain doubles down and it goes harder on the worst decision, right? So Cognitive dissonance is basically when your brain holds two completely conflicting ideas at the same time. It's like a guy calling a woman a 3 or 4 while still sleeping with those same 3 or 4s, but feeling like they're beneath him, but he's still gonna hit. It don't make sense, So the cracks started showing between DDG and Halle pretty fast. When The Little Mermaid came out, her monumental career achievement, like this was a big deal. DDG decides to drop a diss track stating how he's so jealous of her co-stars and all of this stuff. Lord have mercy. So this is a classic tactic of insecure partners. They become threatened by your success and they try to punish you for it. It is not love, it's more like a power play. So if you ever find yourself with this, leave. And let's talk about his type, all right? DDG has a very public and documented preference for a certain look. Often he goes for racially ambiguous Instagram models, and Halle is stunningly beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. I can never even dream to come close to her beauty, but she represents a very different aesthetic from the one that DDG seems to really, really like. So this feeds into a painful psychological theory that he saw her not just as a partner, but as the wifey material for his brand. She's respectable, she's talented, she's family friendly. Even if she wasn't his personal type, she was still good for his brand, So this is not love, it's social climbing. Like, when I tell you this man used her, I feel like he used her. Anyways, those are my opinions. But let's move on to part 3, the trap. Babies, lies, and gaslighting. Oh my God. Then came the pregnancy, and we witnessed a masterclass in gaslighting from Halle. Yes, towards her own fans. For months, she denied and deflected, making her supporters feel crazy for the obvious. This was her blueprint on steroids. She must go on. The image is everything. Even as her personal life was becoming a prison, this girl was busy polishing them bars. Yo! She defended him and literally told people, the devil is a liar. She fixed her voice. The way she has such a cute, lovely voice. And then she comes in and she's like, the devil is a liar, people. My man is not doing that to me. Have a blessed day. Hey. Girl. Anyways. And it was a prison because the walls were closing in with cheating allegations against who? Her man, DDG. Now, here's my personal theory based on the pattern of evidence, okay? I believe DDG baby trapped Halle. Let's consider the facts. DDG said on a live stream that he just wanted kids, not necessarily a partner. Then the leaked court documents allege that when Halle considered an abortion, he threatened to break up with her. All right, so let's see DDG's court filing and see what he detailed. So he says, petitioner routinely used emotional coercion, including but not limited to threats of self-harm, when I attempted to leave the relationship and or establish boundaries. Petitioner weaponized our pregnancy, demanding reconciliation, or placing me in the impossible situation of being threatened that she would abort our baby should I not reconcile or accede to her demands. Psychologically, this is about control. He identified a woman who fit his ideal mother mold and used a child to anchor her to him. For a woman with Halle's blueprint, who likely has a deep unhealed wound around family stability, the threat of losing the family unit she was building would have been a powerful tool to manipulate her. Now we enter part 4. The shattering. The performance ends. So you can only live for so long before the truth breaks down the door. For Halle, it happened when, according to her court filing, DGG allegedly slammed her face into a steering wheel, chipping her tooth. So if you hear a baby around, I am what you call a super auntie, and I'm currently babysitting my sister's baby, so please bear with me. Anyways, I took a look at Halle's filing against DDG, and it's a lot, so I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I summarized it. So this is a 6-page form, a legal declaration filed by a singer and actress Halle Bailey in court case in the matter of Bailey versus Granberry. In this one statement, singer under the penalty of perjury in California on May 13th, 2025, Bailey makes serious allegations against her son's father, Daryl Granberry Jr. So, the alleged claims are alleged abuse and control. Bailey states that she can no longer tolerate Daryl's abuse and threats, which are tied to demands about their son, Halo's care. Unpredictability and fear. She says she never knows when he will demand Halo to be with his mother or when she will face his threats. Number 3, specific recent incident. At the time of signing, Daryl was in Miami publicly criticizing her online, claiming he couldn't see his son while she was in Los Angeles expecting him for a scheduled visit. His attorney had not responded to arrange it. 4, primary allegation. Bailey accuses Daryl of not acting in Halo's best interests, claiming their child is being used to grow Daryl's fan base and online presence rather than for genuine child-centered reasons. In short, this legal document frames the custody conflict as one involving alleged emotional abuse, manipulation, and public exploitation of their child for social media clout. So, thank you for bearing with me. Physical violence was horrific, but the physiological impact, for a performer whose face and voice are her livelihood, this was a symbolic annihilation. It was the ultimate message. I can and will destroy the very instrument of your power. All right, so let's see DDG's court filing and see what he detailed. So he says, petitioner routinely used emotional coercion, including but not limited to threats of self-harm, when I attempted to leave the relationship and or establish boundaries. Petitioner weaponized our pregnancy, demanding reconciliation, or placing me in the impossible situation of being threatened that she would abort our baby should I not reconcile or accede to her demands. Petitioner on multiple occasions invaded my privacy by going through my phone while I was asleep. Petitioner engaged in physical abuse, perpetrated upon me by slapping and punching me during an August 24 altercation over my phone. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while driving in a car on August 16, 2024, while leaving the Bruno Mars concert in Los Angeles. Petitioner repeatedly struck me while we were parked outside her house during a custody exchange on February 18, 2025, then falsely claimed I slammed her head into the steering wheel. Petitioner on multiple occasions has physically attacked me during custodial exchanges of Halo, including but not limited to grabbing and pulling Halo from my arms. Petitioner has surveilled me through the surreptitious okay, I don't know what that word is, whatever that is, use of Apple AirTags placed within my vehicles. Petitioner shows up uninvited to events, including a movie theater and studio sessions, often resulting in confrontation. Petitioner pushed me and attempted to attack my companion while outside of a movie theater in June of 2023. Yeah, but oh my god, okay, so this is his case, but I'm just going to add it. Who is this friend? Is it really just a friend, or were you out there cheating? But anyways, petitioner has frequently used racial slurs and profane language directed at me in front of others, including family, friends, and our child. Petitioner has denigrated and demeaned my masculinity, saying I wasn't enough of a man for her. Petitioner exercises coercive control over me by withholding access to our son Halo based upon my refusal to abide by her dictates or demands. Petitioner frequently changes agreed upon custody arrangements without notice, denying my access to Halo as a tool for control or punishment. Petitioner blocks communications, demanding that all communications involving Halo proceed through my mother. Petitioner, during emotional outbursts, has destroyed my personal property, including my laptop, that contained critical music and content work. Petitioner stole my legally owned firearm during an argument in August of 2023 and was found outside the house in possession of it. So, for me, I don't know, because looking at all of this, then it just shows me that DDG never really loved not Halo, Halle, and this is why I'm saying he just wanted the baby, because Halle was, according to him, Halle was using the baby as a way for them to get back together. So what does that tell you, ladies? He didn't like her. He just wanted the baby. Please don't have kids for men who have not committed to you, who have not married you. You cannot prove your love to a man by having his child. If he never loved you before, he ain't gonna love you after the child. Oh my God. Anyways, sorry, Halle, but she had to go through it. It's unfortunate. The leaked texts where she allegedly says she wants to die are the sound of a human being in a psychological freefall. This is what happens when every survival strategy you've ever known, performing, people-pleasing, protecting the image, utterly fails. It's not instability, it's a whole system collapse. Part 5. The Escape and the Heroine's New Journey. So, Halle Bailey picks up the pieces. All right. The woman who filed that restraining order and fought for sole custody is not the same woman who defended him on the internet. That woman was following a script written for a child. This is a woman writing her own script. Her new blueprint isn't about fame or fairy tales. It's about safety. It's about peace. It's about the radical act of choosing her own reality over a beautiful lie. The little mermaid didn't drown. She just learned how to breathe fire. So, what do we say after all this? In conclusion, Halle's story is a masterclass in the psychology of trauma, fame, and survival. She was conditioned by childhood, deluded by a manipulated narrative, and nearly broken down by a trap she never saw coming. But her fight back is the most powerful performance of her life. It's raw, and it's real, and it's teaching a lesson more important than any fairy tale. That your safety is always, always the point. Okay? But that's just the chaos in my mind. What's in yours? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's keep it kind, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!